Can you open your eyes? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do a very special video in which I introduce you guys to my baby, and we're gonna go ahead and look at some of the things that happened in his first week of life, and I'm gonna share his measurements and just talk a little bit about his developments and how we've been interacting with him. This is my son. His name is JACE Gordon Beer Johnson, and he was born on Sunday, March 11th, 2018 at 10:47 a.m. He was born at 7 pounds 11 ounces with a length of 20.5 inches, and his head circumference was 35 1/7. I've been trying to take lots of pictures and videos of him to really capture this beautiful time in his life. So JACE is a very good baby. He has already developed a beautiful personality that I love. He's very, very alert in the days following his birth. He was very oriented. He would look around and look at people or objects, or I know babies can't really see anything yet, but he was just looking all around. And when people would hold him, he would have his eyes open and just kind of be looking around and trying to focus on certain objects. And as well, I've noticed he loves being talked to and sung to. He really enjoys that, and he loves being around people, and he loves being held and cuddled. He is a little snuggle bug. He is very easy to calm down as well. Usually I can console him pretty quickly, and a lot of the times he does just want affection and attention. And another thing that's really crazy about him is that he's very good at adapting to noises. I thought when he was born a lot of noises would freak him out or spook him, but so far he's only woken up I think once maybe to very loud noises. He's very used to people talking, and he's very used to like commotion going on. I visited my parents' house this weekend, and he's been around lots of people who came to see him in the hospital, and he's been sound asleep through some of it, and it hasn't startled him or anything. Another thing I find really remarkable about him is that he is really strong in his head, and he will lift his head up and throw his head around, which I feel like is pretty strong for the age that he's at. He also will sometimes kind of like inch himself upwards if he's laying on someone's chest, which makes me feel like he might be an early crawler. He also will get really big-eyed and wide-eyed when anyone shuts the lights off, and he likes to look around a lot more than. He really doesn't like to have his eyes open when it's bright or when the lights are on, or as much during the day. He's very much more active at night, kind of like he was in the womb also. He definitely prefers the night to the day, and he's asleep a lot more during the day and up more at night. So within the next couple of weeks, we're going to have to see if we can kind of train him to get on a somewhat similar schedule as we are, because as of right now, we're just kind of waking up when he wakes up. Another milestone that happened to him this week is he did lose his umbilical cord on Friday, which I thought was amazing. I thought it would take 7 to 10 days for it to fall off, and it only fell off in about 5 days. Other than that, he loves to have his binky as well, because he loves being soothed, and he loves being held and talked to and sung to. He just loves being around people, and he doesn't really get overstimulated that I found so far. If you look at his overall coloring, his hair right now is kind of like a dark blondish. When he was born, it was blonde with kind of a reddish tint. I'm not sure if he'll keep that, but in certain lights you can see his hair is very blonde. And he has his eyes closed right now, but his eyes are a dark blue color right now, which I thought were really interesting. I know a lot of babies are born with like big bright blue eyes, but his eyes are very dark. Despite him being a good sleeper, I've been a pretty bad sleeper. The first few nights after he was born, I was so afraid and so paranoid. For some reason, it must be maternal instinct. I wake up to every little sound he makes, whether it's a tiny little coo or it's him breathing, his breathing patterns changing. And the first several nights I kept waking up at everything, and I was very paranoid. And because of it, I was not getting enough sleep, and I was really, really sleep deprived. Right now, he does sleep in a bassinet next to me on the side of the bed. And I know some people might say to place the baby away from you if you're waking up at every sound in the night, but if he was away from me, I think I would be up all night. I remember during the times in the hospital when they would take him away, I would be very upset, and I would just be up. I couldn't sleep because I wanted to know what was going on. But for the majority of the time in the hospital, he did stay with me, especially since I am exclusively breastfeeding. He would come in, if he wasn't with me, at least like every 2 hours after they were done doing his tests and his checkups and everything like that. He also did have his doctor's appointment this past Wednesday where they did a checkup where we found out that he lost 5 ounces and the rest of his measurements did stay the same. However, we discovered on his chart there was written a couple things about his overall health. They did tell me in the hospital that they suspected a heart murmur on him, and that's part of the reason why we scheduled the appointment for the next day upon us leaving the hospital. But upon inspection of his heart at the pediatrician, they said they didn't hear any abnormalities. However, they're going to follow up with it in the next few weeks to make sure that it's not something they missed. Also, we did find out that they wrote an eye defect on his chart in the hospital that they didn't tell us for whatever reason. We saw the doctor. They said that he does have, his eyes are crossing. However, it can be normal for newborns, and it's just something that we should look out for, because the eyes, when the newborn's eyes cross, it means that they're just trying to focus on objects. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed and are excited that he's finally here like we are. And thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.